Hey, hey, hey. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Jackie Yaps a Lot. Did you miss me? I know you did. I know you did. All right, so I got a dope show planned for you tonight, something that I have not done yet. And I'm fucking wicked excited about it. But you know, I gotta do my opening, you know, I gotta get you my disclaimer and all that fun shit. So, as I say every week, this show, it is unfiltered. I cuss a lot and I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable, especially if you white. You understand? But like I have always said, like I will continue to say, that I encourage you, especially if you're white, to stick around. Because once you push past that moment of discomfort, that's when the real change happens. You need to hear what I've got to say. You feel me? All right, so I'm here live on Culture Flix every Saturday at 3 p.m. EST. If you can't tune in live, which you should be, but if you can't, or if you just want to see my pretty face again the next day, the Tonight Show will be on YouTube tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST. Y'all need to go subscribe to my YouTube. I got 121 subscribers right now. That's dope, but that ain't enough. That ain't enough. That ain't gonna make me the biggest show on YouTube, y'all. So let's fucking go. Get your asses over there, subscribe, watch the show, tell your family, tell your friends. You understand? All right. So, like I said, I got a special show planned for you tonight. I'm bringing you a whole new segment, okay? And this segment is called Top Tier Mindz. And that shit is with a Z, okay? That shit is with a Z. All right, so for Top Tier Mindz, what I'm going to be doing is bringing on guests to have conversations with. All right, and I'm super excited because tonight I got my boy, Marcus Maxximista, up on the line with me, and I'm going to bring him on in just 1 minute because I want to fade over to wait till you see this. Ready, y'all? Ready? Ready? Watch this. Oh, look at that fade over, y'all. You see that shit? You see that shit? So now this is going to be a whole new segment. It even got a whole new, look at that, Top Tier Mindz. And you can see his name right there. He has a YouTube. I'm going to let him tell you what his YouTube is because I want y'all to subscribe to him too. This brother is off the chain. All right. So without further ado, Marcus, my man, say hi to everybody that's watching Jackie Absolute.
Hi, Jackie's Academy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you coming in loud and clear, my brother.
Excellent, excellent. Little about myself. My name is Marcus Maxximista. And a little brief overview why I named myself that is I love fashion, but also I want to be authentic and original. And I've had that name since 2009. So I've been on the internet actively for 17 years. And you are dealing with, in Unapologetically Jackie, the number one new educator, new voice of Black centered education on social media.
Well, that was dope. And I went ahead and I butchered your name when I first opened. So sorry about that, my brother.
Oh, absolutely. We good. Hey, call me anything you want. You know what I'm saying? You got privileges.
All right. So, ICE. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about ICE. So let's talk about it.
Let's speak on it.
Let's speak on it. Let's speak on ICE, Marcus. What do you got to say? I want you to kick it off. What do you got to say about ICE?
I gotta say that we should have seen this coming. We should have seen dumpy diaper pants, fuckface Trump would basically bankroll a terrorist group, legalize it because they hate us so much. And this whole thing isn't about immigration. It isn't about anything except it's about punishing the people who voted against them. And sadly, like in his first term, many of the victims that are being taken and being separated are young children, as infants even. And there's an angle that people don't want to talk about, but we do know, Jackie, you and I know this, that white males are predominantly 90% of the child molesters and child sexual predators in this nation. Do you agree or do you not agree?
I absolutely agree. I think that's just fact. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We even had a case as of last year where a couple, an older couple in their 70s, was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison apiece for literally running what would be considered a modern day chattel slavery ring involving foster children, foster black children, um, on their property. They kept them in what would be considered to be an empty chicken coop, miniature slave quarters, because the children were ages 10 and younger. They gave them a hole, they cut a hole in the floor, and they gave them a bucket. Now, we don't even want to describe what the bucket was for. I think you and I know that, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And they were found emaciated. They had welts, they had sores, and they had bites from, of course, ticks and lice and all that because they were made to stay out there. And people came and tracked down how long they were there for because this couple constantly was getting foster kids. And this is where the trafficking comes from because these kids are being sent to Texas.
Yep.
And I think I sent you some information in regards to the illegal adoption scandals going on in that state. And the fact is, predominantly white parents have paid for children of color to adopt.
Yep.
Some have ideas of I can't have kids, so I'm gonna have a baby and all that. Okay, no problem with that. You get it how you get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that a tremendous majority of them want to be modern day slave owners.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something that, I have been talking about a little bit here and there on threads. Mostly, when people keep calling out, like, hey, like, I think it was recently someone noted on threads that there was a 2-month-old that was taken in by ICE. And I'm like, yeah, because ICE, they're child trafficking, right? They're child traffickers, and they snatched up that 2-month-old because there's probably a white elite family looking for a 2-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And if you look at the amount of children that they're taking and separating from their families, and then you look at shit like the Epstein files, right? And you see who's in there, who's behind this shit. It's literally right in front of our fucking faces. But because this is being done by white males, just like everything else in this fucking country, a blind eye is turned.
Intentionally too.
Intentionally.
Yes, and I would even say this, and maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Remember that case involving Andrew Tate and his brother with those traffic goes in Europe?
Yes.
I want to say Romania, right?
Yep.
Okay. You know that what they did was they would like this is like what the pass pro bro thing bullshit that they have going on too. They would invite women out to because everyone wants to be a star, to be a model, right? They would fly them out, pay for them, and once they land, they would seize their passports and anything of identity, and they would force them into prostitution through um, literally through sexual violence, through physical violence, and of course, when someone has your passport, you're stuck in that country, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Think of this: what ICE is doing. What ICE is doing is they're taking these families and taking away the green cards and the identification. So these kids who get separated, they become ghost children. Do you know what the term ghost children means?
Why don't you tell us?
Okay, I will explain that. Those children are children who are lost in the system. Like they're not. They have no identity. They're faceless. They're discarded. They're not even considered homeless because at least with your homeless, you have someone with you, like a guardian or a family member that you're homeless with. These children are being taken from as little as 2 years old, taken to some place that they don't know anything about because they're 2 years old with no idea or anything. So they literally brainwashed when they get adopted, quote unquote, by a family and they begin a new identity. They did this to Native American children back, I want to say, from the 1800s. And Canada did this too. They would take Indian children and they would put them in these schools, Catholic, because
Yep.
Catholics never abuse. You know what I'm saying? And they would kill. They would. It's called kill the Indian to save the child. And they would kill the Indian. They would kill the native identity, their ancestry. They would erase everything, and they would create a white. They would put in a simulated white European culture into an Indian child.
And you know what? To solidify, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but to go off of what you're saying, I actually, one of my good friends, she is indigenous, and she was sharing with me the story of her grandmother who had her entire family slaughtered. And then they took her and they put her in a school, and this was in America. They put her in one of those schools that you're talking about, and they would beat them if they spoke their native language, right? And they would beat them and they would make them wear, make sure that they're not wearing their native clothes. But when the federal government, who they got their grants from, came to look at the school, they would dress them up in their native attire and make them march around. Like, how fucked up is that shit?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. That's the thing is with this connection to ICE. Right now, we're hearing that there are actual Sioux Indian tribes members who are being housed in a place called Fort Snelling. Now, those who don't know about Fort Snelling, in 1862, they had what was called the Minnesota War. And that was because the Santee Sioux tribes of that region were expecting a payment late fall from the U.S. government for lands that they sold to them via treaty. Of course, we know about U.S. government and the fucking trees that they've always broken. Um, the payments came late. So when these tribes went to Fort Ridgely, the settlement there, to ask for food, to get food on credit because it was money that they were owed, the storekeeper, and this is something for some of you people who listen to her and who were taking assignments, go look under a man named Andrew Merrick. It's Myrick. He was a trader who owned a store who famously told the Indians, the Native Americans who went there to ask to get corn, flour, whatever, so they wouldn't go hungry, he told them to go eat grass or to own dung. And for those who don't know what dung is, that's shit. So when that happened, the chief at the time named Little Crow had a few of his braves go out and they committed a couple of raids and killed some people because they were hungry. But instead of turning those braves in to be executed because the U.S. government swindled them out of their money and didn't pay them, he decided to go to war to reclaim the lands that they sold to the Americans. And then that transpired into the destructive genocide that ended up with 1,500 people being killed. And then when everything was said and done, the largest mass execution of individuals on a single customized gallows occurred. They always say the term 38 plus 2. 38 plus 2 means 38 Indians in one December day were hung and executed on the gallows, and 2 more were kidnapped from Canada and taken down and hung on those gallows. So in total, 40 natives were executed by hanging, while the Santee Sioux were driven out west by a war that the U.S. started because they didn't send them money. But funny thing is, a month after the whole hostilities ended, the payment received. The payment was received a month later. But they didn't pay nobody because they drove the Native Americans off their land.
Right.
So go ahead, Jackie.
Nah, so I think what you said, one of the things you mentioned in there is genocide, and I think we can tie that back to ICE. We can tie that back to this fucking administration. right? We could tie that back to so many things because we have a racial genocide happening right now. That is what ICE is doing. You understand? I mean, there's a reason why they're going after brown and black immigrants and they're not going after white immigrants. I mean, you feel me? And between separating children from their family, right? And for what we believe is to child traffic, right? And then you have all of these brown and black people that are dying in ICE custody. Now, mind you, Alex Preddy, Renee Good, they're white, right? But they are not the only two that ICE have executed. You understand? So between the execution, I mean, remember back at Alligator Alcatraz, there's over 1,000 fucking immigrants that are still missing. They're never accounted for. You understand? So this is a slow racial genocide coupled with this child trafficking, and ICE is leading the way. You understand? And they're taking their playbook straight from the slave patrol, not from fucking Hitler, nah, because Hitler got his shit from us. They're taking their playbook right from the slave patrol.
People don't want to admit that. They say Hitler this, Hitler that. They always reference Hitler when it comes to horrors of the Western Hemisphere of modern day history. But Hitler learned from Jim Crow South. He learned how to commit genocide against European and Russian Jews and homosexuals and non-whites, and people don't understand there were black people who emigrated to Germany from other locations from Africa as well too. He murdered everybody, but he learned how to do his crimes from us. We taught Nazism. Nazism is a form of white supremacy, as is Hindu nationalism is a form of white supremacy.
Absolutely.
Any form of any. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying absolutely, my man.
Yeah, any form of ism that talks about one race is considered better than another race, or a group of people considered to be better of another group of people, was started by white supremacy.
Absolutely. And as we know, white supremacy is infiltrated America, and it has since 1619, and that shit's just getting stronger, right? And now, like I said, now we have the modern day slave patrol out there hiding their motherfucking faces. I mean, the Nazis didn't hide their faces, but we have the fucking slave patrol out there hiding their faces, unaliving people, right? And disappearing fucking kids. You feel me? And we got a little bit of a queen of child trafficking that people don't like to talk about, or they mention her once in a while through child trafficking. But I think you know who I'm talking about, right? You know where I'm going with this. Yeah,
I know where you're going with this.
Somebody became famous after her husband's throat got blown out. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. Starts with E. Ends with and first name starts with E, last name ends with K. Do we need to should we get it for fame or no?
I mean we could we gotta name her. We gotta name her. We absolutely gotta name her, that bitch.
Okay.
Who's that bitch?
Yes, exactly.
Erika fucking Kirk.
Erika Cook.
Yep.
Erika Cook. Erika Kirk. Yeah, not Captain Kirk. Erika Kirk.
Yeah, and that bitch is. Yeah, go. I want you to tell us the history on that bitch.
For those who don't know, the whole image of Erika Cook being this trad wife, Christian, virgin till married, then had kids with Charlie, whatever. We've already seen the history. And she proudly took it off because that whole thing's fake. She was a party girl who appeared on an island dating reality show with her ex-boyfriend, who she met, who was some not venture capitalist, but some guy who worked in like marketing and whatever like that. He was a typical douche who would be just picking up chicks at a bar. And she basically met this gentleman drinking alcohol at a bar like any other person would, which is nothing wrong with that. But then if you want to then come across and create scrap this whole image to be this virgin, God fearing, oh, I never had a man for 5 years, and then you married somebody. and then you want to shove that lifestyle down our throats when you know you didn't live it yourself. Sorry, I have a problem with that.
Nah, I do too, and I love the way you stated it. And there's nothing sincere. I mean, there's nothing sincere about that bitch. There's nothing sincere about that bitch. And she has a history in Romania, right?
Yes, she does, and this is what, and like I said, I'm glad you reminded me of that. Apparently, she and oh, and the thing is this: before she went to Romania, she was in a beauty contest that was sponsored and financed by Trump, I believe.
Yep.
So no, that's a connection there too. One of his many with Miss America, if I'm not mistaken, because people who know about Miss America beauty pageants before Trump became president, he was a regular contributor and the financier behind that because we know how Trump loves them, those young teenage girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he loves children. He absolutely does.
Exactly. Yeah, he loves the kids. Like Trick Daddy says, he loves the kids. Yeah, yeah. Anyhow,
I hate that guy.
after her, yeah, yeah. After her, see, the thing is, after her beauty pageant days, people don't understand that Erika Cook was already a well-paid woman. She was already making over $1 million at that time. So why was she so? Did she have so much money? Well, this is apparently one of her little ventures. She was invited to go out to Romania, and she started a church that was like a Timu Save the Children's Fund or something like that. And the Romanian government heard rumors that there were children coming up missing in her little organization. And before they were able to speak on her, she got jetted back to America. Not saying anything, not putting anything, whatever, but I don't think Romania is going to be on her travel blogs anytime soon. Don't you think so, Jackie?
I believe now. I don't know. I believe she's banned from there because of this whole thing that happened at this child orphanage. I believe she's banned from there, and allegedly, that whole place got shut down because of child trafficking. You know what I'm saying? And so she allegedly has ties to it. And I mean, like you said, we can't sit here and say 100% sure because we're actually fucking held to standards that fucking twat sauce in the fucking White House can get up there and fucking say whatever he says and lies through his goddamn teeth, makes up rumors about everybody, tarnishes people's names. We got to make sure that we follow our ethics. You feel me? We got to make sure that we say allegedly. Yeah. She allegedly, but I do believe that bitch was kicked out of Romania. She ain't allowed to go back because of that. You understand? That bitch. Yeah.
No, there's no. We're not. No, allegedly, I don't. I'm not going to put her name on anything that's connected to any kind of crimes or nothing because I don't know and I'm not going to say anything.
Yep.
So what I will say, put my name down is this: she is not. She was not. She's not a 5-year, 100% scrapped up image, made up image trad wife that she wants to play herself out to be. I did see her on a reality show because I did see the episode. I did see the ex-boyfriend that who she ended up getting with. There are pictures of him and her in his car driving up there, having a good time. There are pictures of her sipping drinks and cocktails on a reality show. That's for certain. Whether people want to believe it or not because they're duped in no reality, that's fine and dandy. I will not put anything towards outside of that. But the fact of the matter is, we know she's fake. She's faker than a $3 bill, and that's all there is to it. But if you live how you want to live. Don't create something and think that you're that person and then think you should force that lifestyle on us. This whole Christian thing, no.
No,
Christians, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we know, and the thing is, we can sit here and confidently say we know she's fake because there is videos of her putting eye drops in before the bitch hits the stage to make sure she looks like she's crying. There's videos of her laughing and joking around only 5 days after she just witnessed her fucking husband's throat get blown out. So there's something ain't fucking right there. You know what I mean? That's not no grieving widow. That's a fucking grift. Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be celebrating if someone of mine who bore kids with me, shared a life with me, and we built something together, got assassinated.
Especially in front of your fucking eyes. That's the thing that's wild to me. And the thing that I want to know is where's her kids? Like, are her kids okay? Because this bitch is out there. They witnessed their father, right, get her throat fucking shot out. And this bitch is out there looks like she's having the time of her fucking life, grifting here, there, and everywhere. You feel me? And she got kids. Like, are those kids okay? Especially with those alleged connections to her and child trafficking. Like, I mean, people need to fucking check in on her. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, with a woman like her, though, with a lot of resources and the money that she has, I'm sure she's there in some private school, out of the way, out of the limelight, with a 24-hour living nanny or something like that, whatever. But yeah, it doesn't. This whole thing is shameful, and the fact is that she's continuing with this thing by going on tour with, you know, the evangelical ministry, and this is something we could talk about in the future. Since it's just taken, we're already at almost, we're already at a long time, but the evangelical ministry was started primarily due to hippies and LSD, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Just look up Calvary Chapel Association and look up Jesus Revolution, the movie, 2023. I don't need to say no more about it.
Well, the only thing that I'm gonna say, right, before we get to the next segment though, is you heard about her tour called Make Heaven Crowded Tour, right? I mean, that, like, I'm sorry, that name, like, when you go there, you better not drink anything. It sounds like they're all going to be fucking dropping dead. Like, what the fuck is that?
They're trying to promote dry campuses. Sorry, I'm gonna go to Visha. I'm gonna go to Visha.
That's
For those who don't for those who don't know about Visha, it's a college where I'm from that has Visha. It was dry for 1 year, and the students went crazy and rioted and tear gas and all that stuff too. They immediately put Visha back because people love their PBR where I'm at.
oh
You can't
my.
take past blue ribbon. You can't take that past blue ribbon from these folks, man. No, no, no.
Oh, well, there you go, though. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe to get these white people to actually fucking partake in what was needed for a revolution, we should just take all that alcohol away and have their favorite sports teams continuously lose and or win. And then they'll hit the streets real quick, start burning shit down real motherfucking quick.
Oh yeah, no doubt, definitely, definitely. Because obviously, losing their farms and being bankrupt and having their Medicaid taken from them and all that stuff too, and having literally the entire country become a fascist dictatorship with a secret police military doesn't is not moving them enough. There should be hundreds of millions of them out in the street because they expect every one of us to be out in the streets fighting for their lives and stuff. But we ain't doing that. We just chilling.
Exactly. And it needs to be every motherfucking day. This whole scheduled protest shit, this whole like fucking bouncy house shit, all that shit in it. And we're gonna come back and we'll talk more about that because I want to have a conversation with you about those No Kings protests. Because you know what, I gotta erase that. I don't even call it that. The No Kings gatherings because those shits on protest. Those are fucking gatherings with a bunch of white women in fucking leggings with their Starbucks coffee fucking sitting there talking to each other, acting like they're doing something. So,
I call them the flash mobs.
yep, yep, yep.
I call them the flash mobs because that's all it was. I mean, honestly, the very next day they had those protests. Then that was when that guy in Chicago, that father of two from El Salvador, got shot down and killed. So obviously that sparked something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're so upset about what happened to their own people, Alex and Renee, that they scheduled one for March, Marcus. They said one in March because you know what? You gotta wait till spring because then it won't be cold out there. You understand? The bouncy houses will stay flaming for them. Y'all feel me?
Like, you know what? They got to go for those President Day sales next month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those ones their birthday sales.
Yeah, they don't want to disrupt. They don't want to disrupt the Super Bowl or anything. You know what I'm saying? They got to wait. They got priorities. Okay, they got priorities. All right. Shit.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. So, that wraps up, we're going to come back and talk more about ICE because we just hit the tip of ICE. But I think it was important to call attention to the child trafficking that is going on. I mean, there's detention centers that are housing just children who are screaming and crying and sickly. And like I said, there's still a whole other detention camp, right, with 1,000 missing people. Some of them were kids, right? So, we need to keep an eye on this and people need to see it for what it is and they need to stop downplaying it. So we'll come back and have a bigger conversation on ICE, but
Well,
go ahead.
can I make one last point about the adoption thing too?
Yes, you can.
Okay. The thing is, this is for people who are there's legitimately people there who really want to have kids. So I'm speaking directly to your audience right now. There's some people who are incapable of having kids. They're either fertile, sterile, whatever like that, from childbirth or whatever. I'm not calling you. You have a right to have a family. You have a right to do that through adoption. Preferably adoption, not forced birth, because having a child is expensive. If you have a kid, you should be financially stable, eligible to take care of that child. Case in point, Jackie, wonderful mother of her children, raising queens. If you want to have a child, be fiscal responsible. But as far as the adoption thing goes, um, the thing what happened in Texas was there was cases that their adoption agencies were legally paying pregnant women to have kids. Now, just say the average child goes for anywhere between 8,000 to 15,000, right? Depending on age, sex, race, and whatever you got. The fact is, what ICE is doing with kidnapping these kids and separating them from these parents, taking away the identification and making them ghost children, they don't have to pay the people to buy the kids. The adoption agencies have to now pay them like slavery. Mm-hmm. These kids are now slaves with no name. So think about it. Today's economy, $15,000, $20,000 inflation. I mean, not economy because we know the economy is trash right now. But 15,000 to 20,000 per kid for nothing. And how many kids have been taken out of the 73,000 they claim that have been detained? Which we know that's a fucked up number because there's way more people behind cages than that. Say maybe 50% children. You think, Jackie?
I think that's fair.
Okay, so 20,000 out of say 30,000 kids. Let's see, quick math, 10 zeros. 10 zeros, if 8 zeros is double digit million, that means 10 zeros would be a billion.
Boy, don't have me do math. I don't do math in my head like that, so.
Well, no, I'm just saying, exactly. But exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. but yeah, it's a lot of zeros behind what ICE is doing, and a lot of companies, private prisons, the wealthy people want to buy kids on the black market. Yeah, this is intentional. What's going on here? Where terrorism in this country is costing us right now per child probably about $1 billion. It's making the elites $1 billion. So the only way to stop this would be what Jackie says. Don't plan a strike on everyone's day that we call agree on. Hey, let's meet here. Let's meet here. Let's meet here. Yeah, I work. I got a couple hours free. No, it needs to be a prolonged, unscheduled, make everybody uncomfortable movement going on.
Preach. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So before I come back to Marcus, because he's going to be giving us the twat sauce of the week, I just wanted to talk about one thing that was really pissing me off. And Marcus, I actually might pull you in here too, but the thing that was really pissing me off this week is all these fucking politicians. And the thing that really pissed me off was I saw Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth fucking Warren, the one who's sitting there trying to say she was Native American, remember her? And then she's like, oh yeah, it's like 0.1%. I fucking hate that bitch. But anyways, she's out there, then they're all posted. I can't with her. All these fucking white politicians posting about Alex Preddy and Renee Good. And they're never talking about Keith Porter. They're never talking about the other brown people that ICE killed, and it pisses me the fuck off because it is a reminder to our community that white lives are what matters in this country over everything else. And the thing that pisses me off about this too is that not only can they only focus on Renee and Alex, but then conversations that are held around the ICE murders always start with Alex Preddy, always, right? And what happened to that man was absolutely fucking mind blowing. It was awful. He was executed, but he was not the first one. But because he is a white male, he is now the face of it. He's leading every video that I see. If Keith is in there, he is in there down the fucking line. It always starts with Alex. And that shit pisses me off because it goes back to exactly what this country is about, that white centeredness, that white male centeredness. And white people are never going to learn. They're never going to understand the harm in that and the message that they're sending to our community, and the fact that they constantly abuse us and re-abuse us and then have the caucasity to try to get us to go fucking hit the streets. I don't know if you want to add anything there, but shit, that was what really pissed me off this week.
That's a perfect analysis. While I would like to piggyback on what you said though, because you just put that as you laid it straight, perfect in any way. Renee M. Good, Renee Nicole Good was actually at the very first part of what happened to her with her execution was martyred. She was mourned. She was celebrated because at the beginning we knew her of being a mother of three, a stay-at-home mom who dropped her kid off at school at the time when she was executed by literally a Isaac who was holding a cell phone in one hand because he wanted to film this humiliation and holding a gun gangster style, and he slipped and he let a round off in her face through the windshield. That's how it started. So let's just get that out of the way. Jonathan Ross, yeah, we know who you are, Jonathan Ross. Hope you're hiding in where you're at. So fuck you. Anyhow, as soon as the press found out that she had a partner, she was in a gay, consensual, loving relationship, her name threw on the back burner. She began being called a commie. She was an activist. They wanted to investigate. The DOJ wanted to investigate her murder, but then they wanted to investigate her partner. So we know how that played out, Jackie. You know what I mean?
Yep.
She wasn't a trad wife no more. She became a lesbian.
Yep.
So, and then Alex Preddy, perfect. He was executed by the same person who pistol whipped him, shot him. So we already know he was already being brutalized before he was executed. Now he's elevated because he's a white man. That's more than obvious. Every single case that involves anything to do with civil rights is only amplified when white males are killed. In the civil rights movement, there was Andrew Goodman, Michael Moore, Michael Schwerner, and Reverend James Reeb. There were 4 white men who were murdered during the civil rights movement, and the reason why people were pushing for the Civil Rights Act of '64 and then the Voting Rights Act of '68. But the one lone woman who had 3 kids, who wasn't a lesbian, who went down there to save and to protect marchers and drive them back and forth, her name was Viola Luiso out of Detroit, Michigan. She was shot down by the Ku Klux Klan, who had Gary Thomas Rowe on the informant in the car. Now, she was executed on an Alabama highway, but because she was a white woman and she had a black young student marcher in a car, they accused her of being a communist. They accused her of going to Alabama to sleep with black men. She was vilified so much that by the FBI that a cross was burned on her family's lawn. So we know how white men treat white women who protect black lives. So again, why do white women vote against their interests every single year? I don't understand that. I know you don't understand that, right?
Nope.
So, so as far as with that goes, with us pretty goes, we should um, end this topic with saying Keith Porter, hashtag Keith Porter, was a father of two daughters. His oldest daughter appeared on Instagram and on YouTube telling the world about how dedicated her father was. And he even came on YouTube. There's a video of him wearing an LA Dodgers shirt about how he feels he's a God fearing man. He said that repeatedly, God fearing man, because everything's about Jesus nowadays. I mean, we worship Jesus too. We are God fearing people as well. Funny how that doesn't extend to black people. Anyhow, unless they follow white supremacist narrative. But that's another thing we can talk about someday. But Keith Porter deserves to be amplified. His family deserves a 1.6 million that Renee Good's family has received, that Alex Brady's family has received, but they haven't even received $50,000. And he was murdered by an off-duty ICE terrorist.
Yeah, that's the thing that kills me. This motherfucker was off duty, and what I will say is there is a GoFundMe for him, and there was a couple of ones out there that were not legitimate, but the one that's posted by his mother is legitimate. I contributed to that GoFundMe and helped amplify it. The last I looked, it was at $246,000. However, that is not enough.
Okay.
That is not enough, y'all. Like, that is not enough. I need everybody, if you have the funds, please go to his GoFundMe. I have it on my Substack. I put it out on Threads. I will put it out there again. Please, please, please. The fact that fucking Jonathan Ross, the person who murdered Renee Good, rose $1 million. Like, don't let hate win. Like, Keith Porter Jr.'s family, his daughters, this is what this GoFundMe is going to. His daughters, they deserve this, right? And we need to show y'all white people out there always putting your little BLM in your profile, putting your fist up, or put your fucking money where your mouth is, and donate to this. You say you feel me, and donate to this man.
That part.
That part. So yeah, so we're gonna end it there because I got two more segments still, and I want to make sure that we get to the twat sauce of the week. But yeah, we'll end it with rest in power, King, to Keith Porter Jr. And I will, and Marcus will, and all the brothers and sisters in our community will continue to fight until you get the justice that you deserve, my brother.
Most definitely.
All right, so Marcus, I need you. This is the thing is, I want you to give us who is the fucking twat sauce of the week.
I will say this was a contest. This was literally like the Olympics, the relay race without Sha'Carri Richardson. There was actually competition in this. It was a dead heat. It was a dead heat between Tom Zawinski from Hampton, New Hampshire. He gets an honorable mention for just being a bootlicking, Trump glazing, cock sucking, ridiculous, retired ass white male. But he gets my honorable mention, so he lost. I was going to vote for Kristi Noem and Greg Lavino as a couple because they're a couple of twats. They're literally two twats. One needs to be deported to Middle Earth. That's Greg Lavino. He's no taller than a fire hydrant. And if I see another weave, on Kristi Noem, I am going to call my eyes out. She is literally, you know what I call Kristi Noem? I call her Garden Gnome because she's about as annoying as those elves that you see on the lawn, and you want to take one, you just want to hurl it across the yard or something. But if Kristi Noem, no, she lost too. These are the honorable mention twats of the week. But the undisputed queen, the winner of this week's twat sauce of the week, is a lady who's twice divorced, always miserable, too much makeup, compromised, lost politician, given a job took $25,000 allegedly, and allegedly has offshore accounts in the amount of $50 million, but still is couch sitting on her at her boyfriend's apartment, while also being the most corrupt attorney general in the history of American politics. Her name,
drum roll, please.
her hashtag, drum roll please. She is hashtag Rico Bondi, RICO Bondi, Attorney General Pam Bondi. You are America's twat sauce of the week.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes, 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 yes.
Well deserved.
Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes. Amen. 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 Twat sauce of the week, you've earned it. You have literally made this country into a fascist banana republic with the fact that you arrested 4 black journalists for peacefully protesting in the church where a fake pastor, ICE field commander, was conducting service and lying to his parishioners. And you had Don Lemon, you had Georgia Fort, and 2 other black journalists whose names have sadly escaped me, arrested in the middle of the night by FBI agents. You legitimately sent agents to these folks' homes in the middle of the night for something that is a First Amendment right. You, my goodness gracious. And on top of that, you are protecting pedophile billionaires from the crimes that they should be held accountable for. You, my friend, are aiding and abetting felonies. You, my friend, are committing racketeering. You, my friend, are a conspirator. You, my friend, are the most corrupt official in the history of American politics. You are going to face RICO charges, and you will be in a jumpsuit sooner than later. Pam, RICO Bondi, you are twat sauce of the week.
I fucking love it. Yeah, that bitch is garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. I fucking garbage, garbage, garbage. A fucking flame. No, not even a flaming pile of garbage. I get a pile of garbage, light that shit on fire, and that is what she is. And you know the bitch is conspiring with the Epstein files because the shit that they released yesterday. And again, we'll bring this back. The shit that they fucking released yesterday. Holy shit. And that bitch was sitting there trying to distract, trying to take our brothers and sisters. I mean, everything. I mean, all of that is so strategic. Oh my God, it was so strategic. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because think about it too. It's like they want us so bad. They want to entice us so bad. So bad to hit those streets. It's like, nah, bitch, we're too smart for that. Your fucking KKK ass, it ain't gonna happen. You feel me? And I'm so happy that you gave her the twat sauce of the week because that bitch deserves it. That bitch deserves it. The fucking caucasity.
It was a challenge. It was a
challenge.
It was tough. It was tough. It was tough. It was tough. I had so many candidates for it. Even some brothers too were about ready to get that. But no, she won. She won down the stretch. She literally was coming around like those horse races. You see those horse races?
Yeah.
She came around at the half mile mark and she just took it home.
I mean, and the thing is too, like, imagine you are arresting black journalists for fucking reporting. They're reporting on a fucking peaceful, because they love the word peaceful, right? A peaceful protest. It has to be peaceful. They were reporting on a peaceful protest. And this motherfucker has the fucking caucasity to have them arrested even after a judge said that there was no grounds to arrest or to charge Don Lemon. This bitch did it anyways. And the only reason why she's not already in a jumpsuit is because she's fucking white. That white fucking privilege. And that shit is like, ooh, wait. But, yeah. So we're gonna, go ahead.
Pam Bondi, basically, there's so many And the thing is, everything you said is true, and it's all a waste of resources that we have to pay for.
Yep,
She's
that
not
part.
paying for any of this stuff.
That
Yeah,
part.
she's like, yeah, we have to pay for it, folks. Jackie's Academy, everything that's happening in the country right now is on our tab.
That part. And that's why I be telling
We,
everybody in my community to stop paying your fucking federal taxes. You don't have to have those coming out of your check. Stop that shit. Stop giving them your money. Stop fucking. And the thing is too, you can't be. Oh, I can't even because I'm gonna keep going. But the thing is, I gotta get to my closeout segment in a moment. But we're gonna come back and continue to talk about this. But go ahead because I interrupted you because I got angry.
oh no, you put it perfectly. Like the thing is this, it's we the resistance has to be more intense and more directed. We have to directly go after the opposition, and scheduling these potlucks and these flash mobs and these jazzercise in with the yoga pants and everything and the yoga mats is not going to do it. It's that's literally the bottom of the barrel that you're doing.
Yeah, it's
You need
performative.
yeah, that's it. It's for likes and memes and TV.
Yeah,
But yet you want us to go out there and force, and you want us to take the bullets, you want us to take the tear gas, you want us to take the military grade weaponry for your lives, and that's what, and that's and the thing is, remember I told you about that exchange I got that you read.
yes.
The exchange I showed you that from that? Yes. I'm going to briefly say this. It was almost him too. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this to all white folks who think that black people owe you our blood. We don't owe you shit.
Nope. Not
That's
one.
that's it.
Not even like a dingleberry. We don't even owe you a dingleberry. We owe you nothing.
Nope. Dingleberry free. Dingleberry free.
We owe you nothing. And to close it out, like what we were saying when we kicked off this topic is again the caucasity to think that we're gonna sacrifice our bodies when you continue with your abuse on the fucking daily. You feel me? Continue with your abuse on the daily. You can't even acknowledge our brother Keith Porter Jr. And then you're out here. I can't. So yeah. So fuck that. White people, figure it the fuck out. The blueprints have been out there. I laid it out multiple times on Substack. So you got to figure your shit out, and you got to figure it out quick because y'all about to fucking. It ain't gonna get better. It's gonna get a lot fucking worse. All right.
You 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 said that they thinking that they ain't ready for it. You said they're gonna will. You said that.
Yeah, they ain't ready.
And I have yeah, and I have to agree with that because, like I said, they're immediately. I mean, you see on videos, even as yesterday, someone put a post saying, "Okay, black." Some guy just said, "Okay, black, we get it. You made your point. You made your point. Please come back. Sign the rest of us." It's just like, you really think that this is a game? Like we just, oh sure, we'll come out. No, we're not coming out. We're not doing it.
Nope. Exactly.
You got it. Where's your two-way? Where's your two-way? I finally saw one white person in the neighborhood 2 days ago with an AR-15 with a silencer attachment to it, pointed down at ICE agents in this neighborhood. That's the only person who has said, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be a walkie. I'm not going to film my own murder no more.
Exactly. Exactly. But I want to come back and talk more about this because there's a lot more to talk about here. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I want you to stay on. I'm gonna wrap this up really quick, and let me see. So, what I wanted to do, y'all, is to let you know. Tomorrow is Black History Month. So, there's a couple of things I want to say. First, it's Black History Month. I am a Black-centered educational platform. Black history for me is 365 days a year. Okay, so what you be doing, you should be supporting my academy. I expect tips on the fucking daily. You understand? I ain't talking about tips, advice. I don't need your advice. I need your money. All right, white people, I need your fucking money. You hear me? I want you to get on my platforms. I want you to go through my Substack. Everything that you need to know about Black people, I fucking document it. I do it from double Dutch, right? Down to talking about all of our icons throughout history and not the icons that are celebrated by the white folk. I talk about all of our icons. You understand? So, what I wanted to tell you is that it's also a special year for Black History Month because it's the 100th year anniversary. Black History Month started in 1926 as Negro History Week. I don't know if y'all knew that. Started as a week, and it was established by Dr. Carter G. Woodson. All right, and he was the son of two former enslaved people. And what he said is, if a race has no history, if it has no worthwhile tradition, it becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. Okay? You understand that? So don't come at me with the Morgan Freeman quotes, all right, about, oh yeah, 360. We know it's 365 days a year, okay? But when we celebrate Black History Month, which was made official in 1976, okay, when we celebrate that, we are celebrating Carter G. Woodson. We're celebrating his vision. Do you understand? We are creating a moment where everyone is expected to go harder in honoring the culture that built this nation. Do you understand? This country is white centered. That teeny fucking weenie in that office is aggressively trying to erase our history. You understand? Black History Month will forever be important. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise, because the same twat sauces that are out there telling you, oh my God, it's 365 days a week, are the same ones that are trying to erase it. They're the same ones that don't talk about Black people at all. But they're the ones who don't want this to be a month. They don't want this to be a month because they understand who we are and what we are, and they do not only do they not want to celebrate us, but they don't want us to celebrate ourselves. They don't want us to have that joy. With joy comes confidence. With joy comes confidence. With confidence becomes empowerment, becomes strength. And they don't want that, because the scariest thing to white people, the biggest threat to white supremacy, is an empowered Black person. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? So I don't want to see any of that shit. Okay? I want you all to celebrate Black history. If you're Black, remember there is no such thing as being true pro-Black. I'm blackety black every fucking day, but on Black History Month shit, I turn up the notch. You understand? And remember, when you talk about Black History Month, you are not to talk about slavery. Slavery is white history. That was something that was done to us. That is not who we are. You understand? This shit is a passion of mine. I love our people more than life itself. You understand? This is a month for us to rejoice and to celebrate, and fuck Trump. Fuck everything that he's going to try to do to fuck with this holiday. What you do is you look to me. Look to me. I will guide you, and I will make sure you remember exactly who we came from, exactly what we invented, exactly who we are. Marcus, is there anything you want to say before I say goodbye?
If you want to know what Black history is all about, look to her, look to Africa right now. The only time that our history was interrupted, erased, defiled, soiled, and eviscerated was the Europe time in this country. We were kings and queens before the slavers came. We are still kings and queens now in modern day Africa. We have African billionaires that you don't know about because they purposely don't want you to know about African billionaires who invest in their communities and their countries. So this Black history thing that we have here is them, as usual, giving us something, saying that we don't deserve it. We deserve everything. They don't deserve shit. They're lucky we don't burn this nation down.
That
Because
part.
we have every right to. Yeah,
That
we have
part.
every right to. We have trauma. We have we have reparations that are due to us. We have trauma that has not been resolved in us. We have mental illnesses that have been deliberately, psychologically, emotionally pounded into us. They did this. We need resolution. We need revolution. and we need resurrection of ourselves. We could do that. Don't wait for them to do that.
I love it. I love it. Before I fade out to my closing credits, Marcus, where can they find you on social media?
Okay, I'm on YouTube. I have two channels, Marcus Maxximista and Marcus Maxximista. It's Marcus underscore Maxximista, Maxximista, and there's Marcus underscore Maxximista, Maxximista underscore TCT. I used to be called the card trafficker, but since I decided to soil that name, I'm only TCT. I'm a fashion stylist, amateur. I'm also a sports card collector and investor. And the one thing about Jackie Yapsalot, she is also a sports card enthusiast, and she is actively using her hobby, her love, to teach underserved kids, Black children, the art of intellectuality through sports card investing. So I do challenge your audience to later, when the baseball season begins, to take a part in Jackie's sports card collecting and investing challenge.
I love it. All right, thank you so much for coming on, Jackie. Yaps a lot, Marcus. We're gonna be doing this frequently because this was fucking boss. The show was lit. Dope conversation. I love your mind. Like I said, top tier minds right here coming at you. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Jack,
Go ahead.
can I say one more thing real quick?
Of course you can.
Next. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Next week, next Saturday, we're having in Des Moines the I'll Make Me a World Black History Month special. It's called IMMAW Iowa, and I'm going to try to get on Jackie's Lab slot on location from there. So I got to work away. I might be doing it from my car, but I will definitely be doing a live feed from the band where we're gonna go. I'm gonna be buying some bands. I'm gonna be trying some Jamaican dishes. We're gonna see some black talent and everything. It's gonna start at noon, and I'm hoping I can get on with you Jackie next week, next Saturday. But if not, I'm going to give you some live footage, and you can let your audience know about we do celebrate Black history in this state.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's dope. That's dope. So yeah, so stay tuned and make sure you come back next week, y'all. So thank you so much for tuning in to Jackie Yaps a Lot. Like I said, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Follow me on Threads, subscribe to my Substack. I'm also on Instagram. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so Black History Month. All right, y'all. Black History Month. I fucking can't wait, y'all. I can't wait. All right, y'all. Peace out. Much love.